What's up, you guys? Anthony here. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I want to show you how on Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, I scaled this dropshipping business to almost $7,000 in a single day. And we took the store basically from doing 1,000 to the next day doing 3,800, which is the video that you saw yesterday. And on Sunday, something really cool happened because we hit $6,800 in sales. And this was honestly one of my fastest scaling stories with ecom in a long time, potentially ever. And I want to show you exactly how I did it, so you can basically just copy me. Okay, so do as many refreshes as I need to. And yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so we're going to break down step by step exactly how this is happening and how I'm able to drive these results. And I'll take you guys inside of the ads manager account as well. So you can see I'm running almost like it's borderline offensive how simple this setup is, because the actual ad account strategy is not that complicated, and we'll get into why that is in a second here. But let's go ahead and break down what exactly is going on. So as you can see here, this is my ad. Now, first thing you'll notice is that it doesn't really look like an ad, and that's kind of by design. In our community, Gods or Ecom, we use a strategy called the native mini sales letter, which is essentially where we write highly persuasive ad copy. Typically could be anywhere from 400 words on the low end all the way up to 2,000 words on the high end. And the whole purpose of this style of ad is that we want to create something that appears native in the newsfeed. And when we say native, we mean something that intentionally does not look like an ad. UGC, unfortunately, in 2025, now looks like an ad. And so I have found that typically on Facebook ads, the ad creatives that work the best for a significant amount of time are typically the ones that look the most native. And that is why UGC used to work so well back in 2019 to 2022, around that time, was because it was such a unique idea that you could just post user-generated content, photos of customers, photos and videos of customers, and it just looked so organic, and people didn't really feel like they were being sold to. Well, fast forward into 2025, and everyone uses UGC. Dropshippers use UGC. Big 7, 8, and 9-figure brands are using it. And so the platform is flooded with that style of content. And so if you try to use that style of content, especially if you try to rerun that style of content and rip your own content from TikTok and other brands, it's not really going to work out for you, because not only are you reusing someone else's stolen content, but you are also using a style of content that no longer appears native, and people are just they scroll habitually past that style of content. So what we've done with this style of creative is we've intentionally done this entire thing with image ads and no rip content. And I just found an image of a really sad cat, and I paired that with a really, really attention grabbing piece of copy where, as you can see in the first sentence, getting my coffee early in the morning, but it was 2:47 a.m. when I realized the sound Max was making wasn't normal cat behavior. It was the sound of a cat, and then I say, like, it was the sound of a cat having a crazy urinary blockage. So the main purpose of our native mini sales letter ad is within 400 to up to 2,000 words is to grab someone's attention and make them click on this page. So I'm not trying here to, go through a video script. It's all about grabbing attention, and I want to grab attention as efficiently as possible. And ideally, I want to grab attention efficiently from the people in my target demographic. So people who have cats, and typically older demographics. So it's not shown here, but this is a really, not long, but really intense story about this older cat lady who has, if you guys can look at the page and find the ads anyways. So it's a story of an older cat lady who goes through this really traumatic experience with a cat that had a urinary blockage because he was dehydrated. And in this ad, we also don't want to reveal the solution right away. In fact, we say nothing about price. If you've read breakthrough advertising in an unaware market or a stage 5 sophistication market, you typically don't want to reveal anything about price, because all we're doing is we're trying to reach as much cold traffic as possible, grab that attention, drive curiosity, so that when people get to the end of this ad, they know what the solution is, but they don't yet know all the details, like the price, the features, the benefits, etc. So once we grab someone's attention, and I'll show you the metrics on this particular creative here in a second. All right, so I'm inside of my ad account, and I'm putting this on the maximum time frame, but Let me go ahead and go and take you to Sunday, which was amazing. So on Sunday, as you can see, the ad metrics, really, really strong. So 75-cent cost per click, 5.38% click-through rate, $34 CPA on average across all these ads, which for us on this brand is about 26% net profit. But as you can see, when you have and when you use this style of ad, particularly native ads, things that don't look like ads, and you pair it with a really attention-grabbing first sentence like that, you're able to grab attention really, really cheaply. And you're probably, if you're dropshipping, you're probably not used to seeing $40 CPMs and 70-cent clicks, especially in the US. So if you're struggling with that, it's probably because you're using ripped content. So I'd give this strategy a shot. As you can see, the metrics are just absolutely insane when the messaging is dialed in and you just use something that looks really native to the platform. Again, another thing you can do is you can remake any native images that you find online with ChatGPT, and I found those to work to about the same level. Okay, so that's it for the ad account setup. Now let's talk about how this actually works so well and the real driving force of this strategy, which is the advertorial. So the advertorial is the real, this is where we're really, if in the ad level, we're just trying to earn attention, the advertorial is where we're trying to turn that attention into sales and cash. And the advertorial is essentially a long format sales letter, which is a combination of anywhere from 700 words on the low end all the way up to 2,400 words. I typically like to write mine in the 12 to 1,400 word range. I find that to be the sweet spot where I'm getting anywhere from 30 to 40% of my traffic from the advertorial over to my product page. And you guys have seen this advertorial multiple times, and I'm not gonna bore you with the details as to how to generate that in this video. I have a full document that's linked in the description, and I generated this advertorial with this document that you see here. This is what all of our community members use, so you can have access to this for free. And I also have my advertorial as well. Let me see where it is. So this full advertorial that you're seeing right now, it's literally, you can get it as a downloadable PDF. So get that in the description, use it as an example, use it for any of your future prompting that you do. But essentially, now the traffic is going to this advertorial. So we've earned the attention really cheaply. The goal of the advertorial is going to grab their attention. So if you don't know, if you watch any video creative, typically your average watch time on a video ad is going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds. 20 seconds is maybe max on the high end. But for your average 1 to 3 minute video ad, your average video watch time is going to be about 10 seconds, which means your customers are only spending 10 seconds on your ad. Now, if I look at my average session duration on an advertorial, my average session duration on this particular advertorial is more than 2 minutes. It's about 200 seconds. Is that more than 3 minutes? It's about 6 in the morning for me. So yeah, that's more than 3 minutes. So it's about 200 seconds. So on average, someone's going to spend much more time, especially if you've written the advertorial well, they're going to spend much more time on a landing page than they would actually on a video. Because if you think about how ads actually appear on the feed, people are scrolling first and they're browsing through other content, and then the ad shows up. And then typically, you click on the ad, they might read the first couple sentences. Obviously, there's going to be a really minority percentage of people who actually read the whole thing start to finish, like it, leave a comment, share it, and then click on it. Those are the people that typically end up buying. But you have probably 98% of people, I want to say, who are seeing the ad and they just scroll right past it, or maybe they read the first sentence and then click right away. So for all of those people who are clicking on the ad and not reading the actual story, the advertorial is kind of there as a catch-all safety net for any and all traffic that comes from any particular ad. And this traffic is going to spend literally 100 times the amount of time on the landing page compared to your ad. So you basically have 100 times the amount of time to actually sell someone. So the advertorial is a much better place, in my opinion, to do a lot of the hard selling of the product. And the way that we write the advertorial is we first come up with the messaging and identify what messaging is working. And when I say messaging, I mean we figure out first what is the desire, the mass desire, or in other words, what is the main thing people want to get out of this product. For example, for us, after doing testing, we figured out that what people want to do is they want to add more years to their cat's lifespan, or to prevent their cat from dying an early death. We can kind of phrase it two different ways, but it's more or less the same thing. And then we tried to test for what is the best angle to activate that desire. And what we found is that using this story of going to the emergency room at 3 a.m. and avoiding emergency urinary blockages was the story. So now that we have mass desire and angle lined up, now we can go back and write the advertorial. And that's kind of a mistake I see a lot of beginners make, is they want to write the advertorial right away. And a lot of you guys ask this in the comments below. And the answer to your question of should you, when you're testing a product for the first time, send traffic to the advertorial or to a product page, the answer is the product page. Do not write the advertorial until you figure out what is the actual messaging that you need to put on the advertorial. Until you understand what is the desire and what is the angle that is working for you on the product page, do not write the advertorial, because it's just going to it's going to make you do extra work for not very much reward. Trust me, I've tried to write the advertorial and send traffic straight away, and this process works much better. In fact, we actually have students in here in God Tier Econ that are crushing it. Shout out to Bryce, the new cost cap method, absolutely killing it. But we actually have students in here that are crushing like 1K days, $10,000 days, $16,000 days, $5,000 days, that are not even using advertorials, and that's because what they're nailing is the messaging on the ad. So again, an advertorial is only going to amplify what you're getting on your ad. And so if you're not getting good results on your ad yet, you want to avoid that and send that traffic to a PDP. Okay, so once we have the advertorial written, and again, the advertorial is written to basically take the winning messaging here, expand on it further, and then actually push and sell the product more. So in the second half of an advertorial, you're going to see a lot more features, you're going to see a lot more benefits, you're going to see testimonials, you're going to see the money back guarantee come into play, you're going to see the offer come into play. So that is probably the main difference between the ad and the advertorial, whereas in the ad, we're just trying to get attention and earn clicks. And in the advertorial, we're really starting to actually sell the product and present the offer and really pitch the product from like a business standpoint. Okay, so that is the second component to this entire funnel. Then the third component is going to be the offer. And guys, I just want to say none of this works unless your offer is completely dialed in. And that is why I say do not write the advertorial until you get your ads converting on your product page, because you can have the best desire testing ads, you can have the best advertorial in the world, but if your offer sucks, it's game over. It's game over. Your offer needs to be a no-brainer first, so that way when you add on this fucking god tier marketing on top of it, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire, and you can do stuff like this. So a couple things I want to call out with the product page, because honestly, this section here, basically the main section above the add to cart button, is truthfully the most important. So I want to talk a little bit about like what's working here for me. So of course, the first thing to call out is I see a lot of people using the product title or their product name for their title. Like they'll just call it stainless steel water fountain, or knee patches for older men or whatever. And that's not what you want to do. Like you can use that to start. You can start very general and very broad like that. But what I found to work best is, especially after I figure out like what desire is working in the ad account, I take that and I add that as the actual product title. And this is something I got from a guy called Oliver Kenyon at ConversionWise. It's absolute G at CRO. But basically, if the headline is the first thing that people are going to see, then we want to make sure that as they read that, they are walking away with the most important value proposition of the product, which for us, in alignment with the mass desire that we tested for, is adding more years to your cat's life. And then I used to just say, give your cat, years more healthy life with Purify. But I saw a huge increase in my conversion rate when I actually added the unique mechanism behind the solution. So, or in other words, the UMS. So for us, or essentially a unique mechanism behind the solution, is basically any feature or benefit of your product that solves the problem that your customers are facing in a new and unique way. So a lot of comments on my Facebook ad are, what's the difference between this and a regular fountain that I can get for $19 on Amazon? I should have just bought the $20 one on Amazon. And the main difference here is that this fountain has an actual filter, like a carbon active filter, that actually filters out a lot of the impurities of the tap water. So I put that here, So it adds a level of believability and credibility to your product as a solution when you have something unique about it that no one else in the market does. And even if you don't have something that's truly unique, like even though there's other fountains on the market with filters, even me presenting it like this just makes people perceive it to be something new and unique. And in their eyes will cause them to believe, okay, this is going to work unlike other things have, or unlike other fountains have. And then outside of that, the rest of the product page is pretty standard. I mean, for your offer, keep it very, very simple. Like with an offer, I see a lot of people making this mistake too. More is not often better. You want to focus on things. If you're going to have free things and free gifts, make sure they're things that people actually want. And so for me, I tried like ebooks, I tried like all kinds of crazy gifts. And I actually did A/B split tests with Kaching bundles on all of these. And I found that people performed and converted better when I left it completely blank, like no free gifts. And when I added like 5 ebooks, like for example, this 4-month kit used to have like literally 3 ebooks. I know it's 2 ebooks, 2 free gifts, and free shipping. It was like 5 things in total. I actually found performance was better when I just stripped everything away. And the only 2 things that I added were free priority shipping if you buy the most expensive one, and then a free gift, which literally cost me less than $1 to add on to every order, which is absolutely fantastic. And it's a viral TikTok product. I just chose something that goes with the product, nothing crazy complicated. And I found that this offer actually converted the best after several weeks of A/B split testing, keeping it really simple, focusing on things that people actually would want to get with their product, giving free shipping on a higher tiered. And eventually it just came to be that people were buying the middle tier option like crazy. And this was all through just rigorous split testing and focusing really on what do people actually want. And the number 1 player in this space is running a very similar offer. I've just made some tweaks at a higher price point. And I think the biggest difference between me and the big competitor is they're not doing any upsells on Kaching bundles with this optional upsell here, which by the way, guys, if you are not doing this, this is probably the only reason why this product works is because I have like 85% of people taking the filter upsell. And so the margins on the base product are actually only about 70%, but my margin on filters is insane because they're just these tiny little things and I can actually charge pretty nice premium for them because of the perceived value. And so I would say if you are wanting to replicate an offer, figure out how you can keep your base price relatively competitive and focus on making your money through upsells because that's what's killing it for me. And then pretty standard stuff, you want to use price laddering to make people buy the free priority shipping. So you want someone to see the $64.95 kit. You want them to see that if they just spend about 10 to 15 more bucks, they get free priority shipping and they get the free gift, especially because they'll see that the shipping cost is about $10. So spend an extra 5, get more filters, and you get a free gift, making it a no-brainer for your customers. And that's it, guys. That is the full funnel from start to finish. I just wanted to do a quick breakdown on this for you guys and kind of look holistically at what's really working for me because obviously I think this is pretty sweet. I think this is pretty fucking awesome. So I just wanted to make this video, give away as much value as I can, show you guys exactly behind the curtains what's actually working in the ad account. Again, I kind of showed the ad account already, but man, when you get this ad strategy dialed down, you get the angle going, and you get, a really good offer on this thing, it's pretty mind-blowing what results you can get, using a very simple setup. And that's what I really wanted to emphasize is that my setup is very simple. A lot of these principles you've probably seen from other content creators as well. I'm just executing them at a decently high level, and I'm certainly not the best, not flashiest or highest numbers in the space. But man, some of the results we're getting inside of God's Tier Ecom are absolutely insane. I mean, we've got guys hitting their first $1,000 days, guys hitting $100,000 weeks, guys hitting $10,000 days, like absolutely crazy. Some of this stuff is crazy, man, seeing it live in the community. So yeah, that's basically going to wrap it up for this video. That is my full setup behind the curtains and behind the scenes of this $6,800 store. We're gonna push for 10K a day, and I think at that point, for a case study store to hit 10K a day, I think that would be sick. The fact that we're doing it all live and just revealing the whole thing. If you guys know any other YouTubers that are doing this, let me know in the comments below, because I truthfully have not seen anyone. I think the founder of Pupring is probably the only one. Alex something with a D. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but that dude is killing it, and I know he fucking reveals the whole thing, so massive respect to that guy. But man, if there's any other content creators that just show it all like this, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to subscribe to them and show them some love. But that's basically going to do it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the content as always. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what other kinds of videos you guys are interested in seeing, or however else I can help out. And if you're someone who is interested in learning how to build this entire funnel from start to finish, and interested in learning how to scale to $1,000 a day with, I'm going to call it not even branded dropshipping, we're doing direct response dropshipping. So if you're someone who's interested in learning how to hit $1,000 a day on a new dropshipping store as quickly as possible without ripped content or video ads of any kind, check out the first link in the description to just check out my private course and community guide to your ecom. Right now we're doing something where you can join for 1 year and get 60% off. So you can get the full year up front, which is basically the same price as 5 months of monthly, which is, so you're basically getting 7 months for free, which is awesome. So check that out. There's a 7-day money back guarantee. Full disclosure, it is a paid course and community. It comes with the full course that shows you step by step how to do everything that you learned in this video, along with Q&A calls, one-on-one calls, all that good stuff. So if that's of interest to you, it's going to be in the first link in the description. As usual, any resources, any prompts, any documents that I used to create this are also going to be linked in the description. So check those out. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.